Listening Review Exercise, Skills 1 and 2, page 163. Questions 1 through 7. Listen to a conversation between a professor and a student.
Thanks for seeing me, Dr. Barton.
No problem. It's my office hour. What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to discuss the topic I've chosen for the paper I'm supposed to be writing for your anthropology course. The topic I'm thinking about is a bit unusual.
What topic did you have in mind?
Well, I wanted to write about a test used by the Roman military to test soldiers' eyesight.
An eyesight test used by the Roman military. Are you sure this is related to our anthropology class?
It's not obvious right away, but I am going to relate it to the class material.
Well, tell me about it. What was this eyesight test?
Well, it was a test that the Romans used to determine if their soldiers would fight as foot soldiers on the front lines or as archers behind the front lines. I sort of doubt the upper classes, who usually served in the cavalry and rode on horseback, had to take this test.
Okay, go on.
So, Roman soldiers had to go through certain tests to see how, or to gauge their ability to perform as soldiers. One of these tests was just to count the stars in the constellation the Big Dipper. This test was supposed to find out how good their vision was.
It sounds kind of interesting, but I'm not seeing the connection to what we're doing in class.
I know it's not obvious. That's why I wanted to come by and explain it to you. This would take forever by email, and it's better if I can show you the pictures I have.
All right then. Let me see what you've got.
See? Look at this picture of the Big Dipper. You can see the 7 stars in the Big Dipper. The star at the bend of the handle of the Big Dipper is called Mizar, and Mizar is a binary star. If you look closely, there's a second star called Alcor next to Mizar. If a Roman soldier's eyesight was good enough to see Alcor, he could fight as an archer. If he couldn't see Alcor, he had to fight on the front lines as a foot soldier.
So this eye test was based on the ability of the soldier to see Alcor next to Mizar.
Yes, exactly.
I'm still not sure. Well, let's put it this way. How would you relate this to the material in the anthropology course?
I'd relate it to the idea of survival of the fittest.
Interesting. And how would you do that? Survival of the fittest has to do with the idea that those who are strongest or have some other physical or mental advantage will be more likely to survive and...
Okay, so this test for eyesight was used by the Romans and also other groups of people for hundreds of years. In Roman times, some of I think I read that Marcus Aurelius, the famous Roman emperor, wrote about it and how it was making the Roman army stronger.
What do you mean exactly?
Roman soldiers that passed the test had a better chance of surviving for longer.
And why is that?
Well, soldiers with better eyesight weren't on the front lines, but those with worse eyesight were sent to the front lines and, more often than not, were killed there. Archers stood a better chance of survival, so they were around to father children. And then their kids would also have tended to have better eyesight than the children of those who failed the test. This is how I'm going to support the concept of survival of the fittest.
I see. Now it's becoming a bit clearer. That was kind of a roundabout explanation.
Sorry, sometimes I tend to do that. That's why I thought an email would probably not have been the way to go.
Is there any strong evidence that it actually worked that way? I mean, that the Romans ended up with better eyesight overall?
I think so, because I found a source that says that over time, more and more people had been able to pass the test. I still have to research some more information, but I think I want my thesis to be something along the lines of, since the number of people who passed the test increased over several generations, this could be attributed to survival of the fittest.
As long as in your paper you concentrate on that particular idea of survival of the fittest and then use this example of an eye test to support the concept, I think you could have a solid paper.
That's what I'll do then. Thanks, Dr. Barton.